and are sounds that are the seed that causes manifestation. If you think about a seed that can grow a redwood tree, or it could grow a sunflower tree, right? Each seed has a different makeup that's made to be something, kind of like our cosmic human design is. Honestly, we each have our own makeup, and that sound is what, or that seed is what causes the whole tree to come about, right? That's what happens with sound. Think of sounds like seeds, and your words are like seeds that create reality. And this is where spelling comes from. Casting a spell is spelling. And each word has its own meaning and has its own frequency, which is a twofold aspect. Some of it is the word is what it is, right? 432 hertz is 432 hertz, for example, or 440 is 440. There's like two opposites of the scale there. One is good and one is bad as a human will look at it. But also, it's up to the eye of the beholder. So a certain word may feel differently for me than for someone else, and then we have our own will through that sound that can make our reality different based on how we view that sound. So there's twofold, elements of how the observer views it and what it is itself. But the important thing to realize is what it is itself carries a lot of power, and if you repeat words that have been said in this world over and over and over again, what's happening is that word has more strength because it's been exercised so much, right? It's kind of like it's in the collective sphere and it carries that power. So when you repeat the word guilt and hate and judgment and things like this, you really have a lot of power because we've been doing this for so long. The irony is, and I'll finish with this, besides the fact that negative words have been used to create limits, also a positive word carries a tenfold power than a negative. I mean, you can just obliterate negativity with a few positive words, which is why we teach mantras and why we teach higher vibrational words. So we actually have the power to shift it very quickly. But due to the collective atmosphere of what we're used to, we're repeating and exercising the same words over and over and over again, which we need to be careful of because the elite of the world that are causing us to think in a certain way, they need us to manifest. We are what manifests the world that they need. And they can persuade us to do it, but we need to remember we are the creators. So do we want to create what we're told to create? Or do we want to create who we actually are? Kind of like being your authentic human design. We want to create who we really are, what we really want. And that's up to you on an individual level through your own words to cast the spells to cause you to not only create, but create with like-minded around you that causes this magic to happen that can create a whole different reality. But it's you and up to your own sovereign self to choose, hey, this story is not just going to turn on my behalf. I have to make this story turn on my behalf. And the simple aspect is start to check your words, check your thought patterns, because you have limits that can be broken. So just as much as words create limits and definition, they also create expansion and break limits. And you and your own words will determine the reality of which you live.
Yeah. And, we talk about, I think it was Sunday, we were talking about a video Sun Guru put out about the limited language, right? And you were bringing up the alphabet only has 26 letters, and that in India, was it?
Sanskrit.
Yeah, Sanskrit.
Yep,
they had
India.
Yeah, so they had many more, right? And so, but when we talk about limiting, right, is the language we speak already very, very limiting to bringing us power, right? So we always have to look at how our power is being diminished. Number one, having the wrong design, right? If you're following the human design system and you have a certain type here, and then you go over to cosmic human design and you're just shifted a little bit and it changes you just that little bit, right? And all of a sudden you're like, wow, wait a minute. Now I feel in harmony. Now I feel like I'm on the railroad tracks, right? So just that little bit. Think about language every single day that you use, the limiting sounds that you use, the limited words you use. What is our favorite words? Swear words. Why are they so big in our vocabulary? Why do we need to express ourselves with those so much? Is there something missing, right? We have to wonder why we do what we do. And when we look at limiting language, limiting beliefs, think about sounds you can make when you meditate. Om, ah, Jaron likes gum, these type of things, right? What are you bringing up in those sounds, right? Now that you're elongating the sound and in a very peaceful place, right? And I wanted to ask Richard about meditation and human design as well. You know, that was something I wanted to ask you a couple of weeks ago. Uh, the idea of now we're bringing great thoughts, good peace of mind, and then bringing up these sounds, right? And bringing them out into the world, out vibrating in beautiful ways to start now creating some great stuff going, right? So, got to remember the power we hold is a lot of times dampered down all the time with, let's say, sprinklers on you all the time, right? Fire sprinklers go off when you get too hot, right? they're making you, no, you're too powerful right now. I'll bring that down a little bit. We'll give you the law of distraction. Let's give her a little bit more law of distraction, you know? Let's and it happens to me all the time. I see the law of distraction and I call it out in the moment. Like, wow. I was just trying to meditate, right? The other day, I went out in the backyard. The kids were distracted. Went out in the backyard, got in the middle of the trampoline, and it was a beautiful day out. Breeze was blowing. It was just perfect. I started to meditate. Pizza was coming for the kids at 6 o'clock. It was 5:30. My dog starts barking and barking and barking and barking. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is the pizza really here at 5:30 when it was supposed to come at 6 o'clock? I got out of the trampoline, went all the way inside, and the pizza boy was there. And that was the end of my meditation. There's the law of distraction right there, right? As soon as you try to do something good for yourself, here comes the law of distraction. So watch the universe. Even when you're trying to do human design, you know, cosmic human design, get into the program, all of a sudden distracted. Oh, I'm going to buy it. Distracted, right? So this is what happens. You got to watch the universe and you got to overpower it without overpowering it. You know what I mean? If you just gotta, you can't forcefully, but you gotta be aware and say, nope, I'm focused and this is where I'm going. So, Richard, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just want to outline broadly, because a lot of people, I can kind of sense, especially in today's world, you know, how a lot of people perhaps have lost faith in the universe and the cosmos. They've lost faith in existence. They've lost faith that existence is fundamentally good and right and just, and everything in your life, if you have the right attitude, and if you view it the right way, is there to help you manifest your own uniqueness. Everything.